Hello everybody, welcome to Fruitful Trees. Today I'm going to talk about a fruit tree that if you're growing fruit trees in South Florida, it's the hardest fruit tree to find available that grows out here. It's definitely worth it, but it's really hard to find, and there's only two varieties that do well here in South Florida. It is a persimmon. So a persimmon is something that's usually in season in fall or the winter time. And it's a tree that loses all its leaves in the summertime, so it's not the most appealing tree. But we're going to talk about this today. How many of you watching have a Florida persimmon tree? So we're going to look at that. So this is one of my two persimmon trees that I have here. This one is a Triumph. I'll put the name below, but this is a Triumph persimmon tree. And right now it's November 2nd. 2024. I don't know when I'm going to upload this, but in the next couple of days. And look, there's one persimmon on this right now. And that looks great. And I'm hoping this tree would be loaded, but it takes a really long time before it gets loaded. Julian at Laura Farms, Miami, has a tremendous amount of persimmons on his persimmon trees right now. And he has several trees of this Triumph persimmon, and I love going down there and eating these. They taste amazing. It grows more like a bush than a big tree, but it's a real slow grower. It's a wonderful tree to have if you have the space. It doesn't take up a lot of space when they're young. Like I said, a dwarf tree, whether it's a mango or something else, the reason why they call it a dwarf is not that it's a small tree, but it just grows real slow. Persimmon would be in that category. It grows slow. When it does grow, though, you definitely want to trim it so it doesn't get too big, because you see like there's one stalk that's growing all the way up there, so you got to be careful with that. But this is the Triumph variety, and there's another one I'll show you I have in the back, which is a South Florida variety, also sometimes called Hudson variety. Now, a persimmon normally needs a certain amount of chill hours for it to fruit. And that's the case with the other varieties. So most persimmons will not fruit here well in South Florida, except the Triumph and the South Florida / Hudson variety. So some people up in the Orlando area might be able to get away with a Fuyu Persimmon, but here in South Florida, that would really be pushing it. Now, a lot of nurseries are sold out of persimmon trees. They take a pretty long time to grow and get the right rootstock. I know Julian at Laura Farms, Miami has the right rootstock for persimmons, so he uses that. Some people are starting to experiment with black sapote because it's in a black sapote family. So they're experimenting with using black sapote as a rootstock, and it will work. You will be able to fruit Simmon grafts onto a black sapote rootstock. However, from what I'm hearing is, even though it will take, they will often die, and it's not a good rootstock to use. So the one Julian's using is a wild persimmon rootstock, and he has a tree of that. So that's why his trees might be more successful than others. So I don't know if you're taking just a typical seedling from a rootstock from a typical seedling that grows in a cold environment, if it will do well down here, and if it will survive here in South Florida. I don't think it will do too well. So you got to get this particular wild persimmon that is tropical or grows in tropical, at least the tree does, if not the fruit, but the tree does, and then you got to graft onto that. But that's part of what I want to talk about today. So this is the Triumph persimmon. And again, most nurseries here are sold out of this one. I know a couple of nurseries that have persimmon trees like Fuyu and some other ones that need a little bit more chill hours, so they're questionable if you should get that particular type of persimmon down here in South Florida. MiamiFruit.com has a wonderful display of big Triumph persimmon trees in their property here in South Florida and Homestead. Bill Lazard, who used to have a banana farm and just other tropical trees, had this amazing selection of Triumph persimmon trees. And it's one of the reasons why the people that own Miami Fruit decided to get that property because they fell in love with the persimmon trees there. So I know you can order from the mail from them some persimmon fruit. I don't know if they sell the trees or not because they're more into selling fruit than trees. So persimmon is a great tree to have. I'm going to go out back here and show you my South Florida variety and talk a little about that one. But the most common one that grows well here in South Florida, needs very little chill hours, is the Triumph Persimmon. I'll put the spelling of it below. So if you're contacting in a nursery down here, contact them and see if they have these in stock. Now, I did find a place in Georgia that I made a video with that I contacted them. They have a persimmon farm. They are able to grow the Fuyu Persimmon in Georgia, and they're doing quite well with that. So I'll put a link to the video I did when I was on that farm about 6 months ago, and I'll put that below the video. You can check that out. Maybe I'll even put a clip here of that video. Tom, so how many acres of persimmons do you have here?
There's 25 acres of persimmons, about 2,600 persimmon trees. The Fuyu Persimmon has its own, maybe 10 major cultivars of Fuyu Persimmon. And the non-astringent, the Haichia is the one that's best known. You find it often in the store. So and it's nice because of fall fruit, there aren't a whole lot of things.
So you're saying besides just the Fuyu, there's 10 different varieties of Fuyu.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. That's very interesting.
If you ever see a picture of a tree without any leaves and fruit, that's usually a persimmon tree, because the persimmons are known to be holding fruit when they have no leaves.
But if you're trying to grow in South Florida persimmons, the Fuyu is not going to work. Now, the website I'm putting below is sweetestFuyuPersimmons.com. I'll put the link below to that. If you want to order persimmons, October and the beginning of November is the season to do so. They have jams and all of that the rest of the year, but if you want Fuyu Persimmons, and that's what this one is here. Fuyu Persimmon, I got a box of these, a big box of these from Sweet Georgia Fuyu Persimmons, or Sweet Georgia Fuyu Persimmons. Definitely a great deal, definitely worth it. Now, another thing to mention here in South Florida, if you think you might have a persimmon tree or a persimmon tree might do well, that's South Florida. From what I hear is they must be astringent, meaning this is different than this. So this is the one that's on my tree, and not only are they different in size, but a Fuyu Persimmon is not astringent, meaning I could eat it hard like an apple, a crunchy apple, or I could eat it soft, and it's even sweeter when it's soft. However, the persimmons that grow here, they must be soft to eat them. If they're hard and you eat them, your mouth is going to feel like you just ate some chalk. It's some dry chalk. It's not a good thing. It doesn't taste well. So that's a good sign if something will grow here or not. And then Haichia persimmon, which is most common persimmon, I think, commercially, it has to get real soft and it's absolutely amazing. But if you try to eat it when it's hard, it's not going to be well. Fuyu is different. So what I recommend is, if you have the room and you want to get a persimmon tree, try to find the Triumph or South Florida / Hudson one. But if you can't, definitely go to Sweet Georgia Persimmons or FuyuPersimmons.com. I'll put their exact link below and order from them. They get a great deal now. I'm putting this video out here in the beginning of November, and they only have about 2 more weeks left of persimmons left in stock to ship, and then it goes out of season until next year. So hurry up and get your order in for that. And let me go to the back now and show you my tropical Florida persimmon tree. Okay, so here I am in front of my other persimmon tree. Now I checked the website, it's sweetestFuyuPersimmons.com. sweetestFuyuPersimmons.com. Get your order in now. Definitely worth it. I'm so excited. These taste amazing. They could be eaten soft or hard. I'll put the link below. So this is my my tropical Florida persimmon tree. Now there's some confusion in the trade if this and the Triumph Persimmon is the same. But this one I believe is also called Hudson, or was formerly called Hudson. and now it's South Florida persimmon, whereas the Triumph persimmon is another one that grows here in South Florida, but not the same, from what I understand. So this tree had a lot of flowers on it this year, but there were no persimmons on it. So let me turn this around and show you. It had a lot of flowers this year, but it didn't have any persimmons on it, so that was disappointing. Well, it had some, but they seemed to have fallen off. Now this is my orange sherbet mango tree, and it was overtaking the persimmon tree. And I didn't want that to happen, so I just trimmed this back. And there might not be enough room for this persimmon tree here, but I'd rather have a fruiting persimmon tree than all these other trees which I have much more of. So we're going to keep an eye on the space of this. I don't know how well they move, and I don't want to take a chance. So this is my spot for this persimmon tree. That's quite big for a persimmon tree. And again, yeah, there's my orange sherbet tree. But that is this tree. And these, again, are astringent. You have to eat them when they're soft. You can't eat them when they're hard. But that is that tree. All right, everybody. So I'm inside now, and this is pretty interesting. So this is the box I got from Sweet Georgia Fuyu Persimmons.com, and the box is loaded. Loaded. I mean, there must have been like 20, 25, if not more. I counted the other day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There was about 20 persimmons here, maybe even more, that I got from sweetgeorgiapersimmons.com. And look how big and beautiful they are. Now, I wanted to do this for the video. I compared their Fuyu persimmon. I was just at Trader Joe's, and in California and all over, Fuyu persimmons are in season now. So I was just at Trader Joe's, and I bought a Fuyu persimmon from them, and I just cut it up. And then I had this one, so I cut them both up. And I am telling you, the taste is not even close. Now, I like the Fuyu persimmon from Trader Joe's, but they don't even come close to the Sweet Georgia Fuyu persimmons. Absolutely delicious. And I'm eating it hard. It's soft. It's even going to be even sweeter. So I'm going to put a link below to them. And remember, it's only a couple of weeks left to order their fresh persimmons. Now, they do have persimmon preserves and jelly and things like that you can order much longer, but get a box of these Fuyu persimmons. Definitely worth it. All right, links below. I'm going to have some nice meal here now. Have a great day, everybody, and keep growing. All right, everybody, there you have it. Persimmons, persimmons, persimmons. A great fall fruit. And another thing that's great is it fruits when very little other things are in season. So I definitely recommend it. And it's quite interesting because persimmons are in the same family as the black sapote. As a matter of fact, they're almost identical to black sapotes in the way they look. And so it's quite interesting. Black sapotes are kind of astringent because you can't eat them when they're hard. You got to wait till they get soft as well. But they are in the same family, so you could say either black sapote is a form of persimmon or a persimmon is a form of black sapote. And the fact that you can use a black sapote rootstock to graft on a persimmon scion and it'll take shows that they're in the same family. And there you have it. Put down any comments or questions. If you have a persimmon tree and you're in South Florida, what are you growing? And how has it been? How does it fruit? And if you have any other comments or questions, post them below. Thank you for watching, everybody. Have a great day and keep growing. For more educational videos about mangoes and other fruits and how to grow fruit trees, please look out the other videos on this channel, Fruitful Trees, and also subscribe if you like, and also share these videos with others. Thank you for watching. Have a great day and keep growing.